Me smart, sentence make word together. Yeah? Hey everybody, Matthew here, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Just Another. Today we're Just Another Music Show because I would like to talk to you about song lyrics. And this is something specifically that's been bugging me for a while, about 4 years, maybe even 5 soon, because we're almost in 2020. Because back in 2015, I remember seeing the headline on a lot of different channels and a lot of different websites about how there was a study done that showed that the lyrics to popular songs, or the top 10 popular songs at the time, had the reading comprehension equivalent of a third grader. Now, I remember going and looking at it, and I'll link it down in the description. It was a study done by a gentleman named Andrew Powell Morse. And again, you can go click on the link if you would like to read it. And it basically took the lyrics to popular songs and popular artists at the time and looked at a wide array of things, basically their vocabulary and the size of their vocabulary and how their sentences were put together, and kind of came up with this idea that nothing was really coming too much of what these people were saying. Now, it did specify also at the bottom that they weren't talking about how the lyrics work metaphorically or anything along those lines, and that's kind of where I want to pinpoint, because this is not about that study, and it's just kind of where my thought process kicked off from. Because while that study wasn't perfect, at least it was a starting point for some things, and it did miss out on a lot of stuff, but I do want to talk about that idea of lyrics metaphorically, not metaphorically, even poetically. Because really, song lyrics are poems. This is something you kind of do in high school, probably. Maybe in junior high. You go to English class and, hey, bring me in song lyrics because we're going to study poems. But I want to prove to you I'm cool and that the stuff you like is cool. So we're going to talk about poetry and songs. But it's true. Lyricism from songs, whether they're bad or good, it is poetry. And whether or not your vocabulary is large, or you even know or try to use flowery words, it doesn't mean you can't write poetry. I mean, not everybody's going to sit there and do a Cedric Bixler-Zavala and throw in a few bivouacs and glossolilias into their song lyricism. And again, I'm sure he's also not sitting there trying to figure out a way to fit those in. That's just what comes out. But poetry is something that doesn't need a large vocabulary. It's just the way you put words together. And I was talking to so many friends at the time, or coworkers even, people who were younger than me, people who were really into a lot of very big pop culture movements at the time. And I would hear them listening to music, and I would hear the song lyrics, and they would be very generic, very like, I called you last night, you didn't pick up the phone, we went out Thursday night, but you're never home, whatever it may be. That's just off the top of my head, I'll be honest with you. But those are literally what the lyrics are like. And then I hear these people listening to them, oh my God, I love this so deep. It hits me right here. And I'm sure those words can communicate to all of us. We can all relate to them. But is that really anything significant, deep, and worthwhile? If you like a song, you like a song. Listen to it. If you like a movie, you like a movie. Watch it. I'm not saying you shouldn't like these things, but there's something very specific about doing it right. And I would like to talk about one of our current grading lyricists who's been doing this for a long time, and now that unfortunately Leonard Cohen has passed, he's probably taken up the mantle as our best song lyricist out there, and that is Elvis Costello. And I want to talk specifically about the penultimate song from his 1994 masterpiece, Brutal Youth, which I will say is probably also a brutally underrated album, or underappreciated album. The song in question is called All the Rage, and it's a brilliant song. Actually, setting the lyrics aside for a second, it's a very quick and concise song. It's about 3.5 minutes long. It really only consists of acoustic guitar and bass, drums played with steel brushes, and then piano and organ, with only the real searing electric guitar coming in very quickly during the second verse, which is actually not even the second verse. This song actually goes verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, chorus, chorus. And in that first little bridge section there, and it just like sharp cuts in like a knife very quickly for just a few bars, and then you don't hear that electric guitar again until the very end, where it's still cutting in, but it's a little more warm and bright, and almost it's kind of like easing you out of things as a resolution. But I'm gonna go listen to it. The link's in the description. Go listen to the song. Come back, finish this video, or go listen to it after, because we're not really gonna play a lot of it here. We're just gonna talk about it. You back? All right, here we go. That first verse. The twitching impulses to speak your mind. I'll lend you my microscope, and maybe you can find it. Is it in that ugly place that's just behind your face, where you keep my pictures still, despite the fact that you had me erased? Think about that. That's not something that is supposed to be huge vocabulary, but it's so brilliantly put together. It's stringed together in such a way that it's beyond what I would even consider poetic in many ways, because it's very purposeful. It's very easy to decipher. It's not like it's trying to hide what it is. It's not like you have to go look up some special situation or a bunch of words to try and figure it out. It's not hiding itself, but it's stringing those words together in such a way that it means something that is clear to everybody, that everybody's felt for the most part, I would say, once you past your teens. And it's special. Now let's just look at that. It's just line by line. The twitching impulses to speak your mind. You have something to say, you can't come out with it. I know you want to say something. I'll lend you my microscope, and maybe you can find it. Let me help you get it out. Maybe I can help you relax and say what you want to say. It's in that place. It's in your mind, the thoughts there, and that place is not so pretty. You have a lot of junk in there that needs to be cleared out. But it's a place where you still remember me. You still have those thoughts of me, despite the fact that I'm no longer part of your life. And while I break it down that way, which is very straightforward, I feel that people today, if they were to record this song with their own lyrics, it would be something a little more, plain and simple in the term where plain and simple means blah. It would be something like, "Oh, you got something to say to me? Well, why don't you say it? I know that crummy mind you got, the crummy brain, that crummy brain you got. I'm no longer with you, but you still want to think of me." Obviously that's not in any sort of rhyming fashion or stanza fashion, but that's just the way it's coming out off the top of my head. That's not pre-scripted. That's literally just the top of my head, but I feel that's the way lyrics nowadays sound. Even if they are thought out, and well thought out maybe even, it sounds like it's just somebody's like, "Yeah, I'm writing a note to you in class, pass it along," and now it's a song lyric. Unlike the way that Elvis puts it together, where it gives me chills sometimes just thinking about it. And then go into the chorus, which is even technically, and I'll use the word simple again, because it's not simple this time in the fact of boring or bland. It's simple where it is just very concise and clear, but still put together in such a way that it's got that poetry to it. Say goodbye. Baby, can't you act your age? You know why. I'm going to give it to you straight. Although I'll never be unhappy as you want me to be, still, it's all the rage. Even though I know what you're trying to say, and I've been through this before, and I'm going to go through it again, you've been through it before, you'll go through it again, I'm not going to be how you think I am. I'm not destroyed because you left me, even though that's how you think I am. But you're going to come and say it anyway. You're going to come back into my life somehow anyway, because that's what you think has to be done. Or that's what you want to do. That's brilliant. That is bloody brilliant, especially since when you hear the term "all the rage," you don't think of it in a negative term. And this is not necessarily, the song is not negative also. I mean, yes, somebody's maybe speaking to somebody else and being a little downtrodden about it, and while they're being poked, maybe a little malicious back to them in a way. But this is not a song about somebody who is destroyed. This is just a song about somebody who knows what's going on. And it's beautiful and it's gorgeous in the fact that, again, when I hear "all the rage" just as a term in general, I think, oh, what are kids doing these days? Oh, yeah, they love that Fortnite. It's all the rage. You don't think of it in terms of somebody coming back into your life to try and make you think about them again. It's funny because the song came out in a very short time span away from when Elvis did a cover of the song "Must You Throw Dirt in My Face," which is a song about literally somebody just coming back to rub it in their ex's face that they're with somebody else. And I feel like maybe this was his version of that in a way, but taken with a different spin. I wonder if that's true. Actually, I never really thought about that until just now. Elvis, reach out to me. I want to know if that was the case. But anyway, that's what we wanted to talk about for today. We're going to talk about this kind of thing a lot more. I'm going to do a lot of videos talking about song lyrics from a lot of artists that you may know, some artists you may not know, because it's something that I think is an art form that really is dying and is not really so well kept anymore. So I'm going to talk about that a lot more in the future. In the meantime, go click on that link, go listen to the song, because still it's all the rage. Oh, so good.